Hi, good evening, and welcome to Sister Sister. Today's edition is about self-care, specifically for hair and facial care. We've got beautiful ladies with us today that will join us in this conversation. I am going to be your host today, however, everyone else on here will be co-hosting. If you have any questions, any contributions, you feel free to do that. And we're quite open to anything and any suggestions. Today, we've got a few people that I need to shout out that will lead us through the conversation. So we have Christina here today. Hi. Who is actually my cousin. Yeah. No favoritism here, but just pointing that out. And she's she is going to talk to us today about her facial routines and all the products that she uses to make herself beautiful. I mean, in person, her skin is immaculate. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen her with a spot on her face. And she's got beautiful chocolatey skin. So I think
I'll take the chocolatey skin, but it's normally the makeup, to be honest. But I'll take it. I'll take all the compliments. Thank you.
Perfect. So she's going to talk to us about that, show us a few products, and then we can also share any products that you use and you want to come forward and see some of the maybe pros and cons about the products that you use, maybe pricing or some of the ingredients in it that you think might not be good or good for yourself. So yes, and then also at around 8:30ish later on, we have another lady joining us. Her name is Jocelyn Minta, and she is specialist in hair care. She's got her own kids brand that she uses, and I've also used personally on my daughter, and they work amazingly, and she's got lovely tips to have as well. So Christina, go. Maybe a little bit introduction of yourself, what you do and stuff like that, and then
okay,
if you have any
so
questions.
I'm Christina. From the accent you can probably tell I'm from up north, so I'm from Liverpool, but I've lived down here for about 6 years. So I've lived in London for about 6 years. I'm a regional business manager, and they asked me to talk about skincare, and I have to be honest, it's a passion of mine. I am not qualified, but I've done my little research. But with time, my little passion has turned into a bit of an obsession. So I just wanted I can talk you through what I do, as in my skincare routine during the day, share with you any products, why I've decided. I just do lots of research and what have you. And it probably started from a young age, I was spotty as a child, and when I went to secondary school, I was given the honour of having a jerry curl, which just made my skin worse. Those lovely oily products. So I started then, and it was just the normal cleansing, toning and moisturising, and that's all I did. As I've got older, because I'm a lady of a certain age now, I kind of need new products to keep me looking young, shall we say. So has anybody got anything in particular that they want to know about skincare, or do you just want me to tell you what I do on a daily basis and show you the products I use?
Definitely. Maybe start off doing that, and then if we can interject with whatever.
Yeah.
As you're
Any
talking.
questions? Yeah. So in the morning, I cleanse. I have a shower and I cleanse in the shower. So I use Paula's Choice, which is a product from New York. They haven't got shops here, but there you can buy online.
Okay, can you hold it a bit closer to the cameras just so that we can have a
look?
Okay, yep.
I've noticed that there are loads of adverts for Paula's Choice on YouTube. It's just, if you go onto the Paula's Choice website, it's an excellent website because it tells you about skincare. Also has like a questionnaire to help you identify what products you need. So I kind of find a product, and if it works, normally during a breakout, mind you, I stick with it forever because I'm like, that works for my skin, that's what I'm using. So I've got that. I also use my Pore, which is, I used to use a cloth, I used to use my hands, then I used to use a facial brush, but I didn't like the facial brush because it gets really dirty, and I had to keep buying new brushes for it. Which expensive. Now I've got a Pore, which is this weird contraption made out of silicone, and it vibrates I
Oh.
often wonder when I'm at somebody's house and they see it in the bathroom what they think it is. And nobody's ever asked me, which makes it worse because they're probably thinking, and I'm like, no, it's for my face. And also, don't try it because it's for my face. So I literally put the soap on and go over my face. And I've been using this for about 2 years.
So
And
is
it
that
doesn't.
is you reusable? Is there a cover on it that you can change, or is it, do you wash it?
So all you need to do is rinse it because
Okay.
it's silicone. So it's got one side for breakouts and one side for general cleaning. You plug it in at the back, so you charge it at the back. You need charging no edible eye once every 6 months.
Oh, okay.
So, and you just put your cleanser on and then you'll go over your face like that.
Okay.
It doesn't create much of a lather. So when I first used it, I was like, I'm not sure because I used that big lather. But I use that, then I rinse.
How much is that one? How much is that product? Where can we buy it?
It's around £100.
Okay.
And you can get it in Boots or Amazon.
Okay.
And if you want, Via, obviously, I will send you the links.
The links for everything.
But I recommend that rather than that because, like I said, these, I mean, you can see it's not even that white now. I just needed to keep cleaning it.
So what's the benefit of using this as opposed to just your hands to put the cleanser on?
I think over your hands, for one, you have to make sure your hands are really clean. For two, I wanted something that was going to kind of get down into the pores. And I don't always feel like that my hands were doing that. So I wanted something that would give me a deep clean. Because I do wear makeup most days as well. So when I was doing it with my hands, I'd be wiping my face and still seeing makeup. So had a shower, come out. The next thing I normally do is cleanse with my micellar water. So my micellar water is there to just basically grab any dirt or grime that hasn't been caught by that. So by now my skin is sparkling. So use the micellar water with a cotton pad over the face. Yeah. After that, I then go to my exfoliant. I told you I've got a bit of a... So my exfoliant, I told you. So there are two types of exfoliants. There's the mechanical exfoliant, there's chemical exfoliant. Mechanical exfoliant is like your skin scrubs, you know, with those little rough bits in and you scrub your face. I don't like them because I feel like they're damaging my skin. And I work in pharmaceuticals, so I'm all about the chemicals. So I really like a chemical exfoliant.
Can we have that closer to the camera, please?
Yeah, and this is Paula's choice again.
Okay, Paula's choice.
So there's two types of exfoliants, the AHA and BHA.
Okay.
So AHA, alpha hydroxy acid, that's like your glycolic acid. And the BHA is the salicylic acid. So for our black skin, salicylic acid's better. Okay. And it does things like, for one, it clears out your pores. For two, it improves the skin's texture, tightens the skin. And is good if you have breakouts, which I do. So that's my exfoliant. After that, I then, if I'm wearing makeup, I will use hyaluronic acid.
That's before you put on the foundation, yeah?
Yeah. Okay. So straight after my exfoliant, I use hyaluronic acid. Now this product it's a humectant, so it absorbs water. So it absorbs 1,000 times its weight with water. Okay. So it's supposed to make your skin look plumper.
Okay.
And as I get older, I notice that my skin's getting drier, oily, but just not as plump. Yeah. So I put that on only a little bit because it feels a bit greasy.
Okay. And can we have that name of that product again, please?
Yeah. So this is a really good range. This is by The Ordinary.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it costs like £6.
Okay. That's really good.
It's really cost effective.
Yeah.
Really good stuff. After that, I use my eye cream. have to have an eye cream if there's one thing that's not part of your skincare regime, an eye cream. I never really believed in them, and then I started seeing friends and myself with little lines under their eyes.
Yeah.
And I know it's because everyone's busy, kids, what have you. And then I started thinking, oh, maybe there is something in this eye cream malarkey, so I use an eye cream.
Okay.
And then finally, I use my moisturiser, which has got to have a sunscreen in.
Okay.
So to be quite honest, the reason I started with the sunscreen is my neck and my face are different colours.
Yeah.
And I was trying to blend the two. But then I did some research and they were like, you're gonna start to look old if you don't wear your sunscreen. So now I use my sunscreen. And again, that's a really nice one. It's by Paula's Choice, but it's really thin. It's really light, because you have to be careful with sunscreen, especially with our colour, because some of them, I think it's something
Melanin?
oxide.
Oh, okay.
Something oxide gives us a white sheen on our skin. If some of the sunscreens, when you rub them on, and they're literally a white sheen.
Yeah.
So they're not for us. So that's what I do in the morning, which sounds really long, and I'm a bit embarrassed about telling you about.
No, it's not that long if you think about it, because if you do everything back to back and that's like 5 or 10 minutes that would have used to scroll through our social media and doing stuff. Do you see what I mean? So really, if you can spend that time on your skin to make it healthy and go as long as possible, because to be honest with you, Christina, I don't have a skincare at all. I use black soap for my face, and that's it.
Do you use the moisturiser?
I do, every day moisturizing, definitely. That's all I use though, and then even the moisturizer, it's like the one I'm using at the moment is a Superdrug brand. It's a vitamin E for really intensive, like the intensive moisturizing for dry skin. But then my skin is not dry. My face is not dry. It's very oily. So I need to find something that's actually good for my skin. So having heard the products you use, I think I'll pick up a few to get rid of the shine. And then also, I think the under eyes, I mean, some lines here, from smiling and all of that, I think that'll be a good thing. And sunscreen.
Do you do this at night as well, or do you have a different routine for night? I mean, I have some kind of facial routine as well, not as intricate as yours, but I can tell you my very brief facial routine later. But I'm curious, do you do this at night as well, or is it just in the morning?
No, at night. So at night, I tend to cleanse with wipes.
Okay.
Just because I really hate washing my face. I think it was because I used to wear lots of weaves, so I'd be like, don't want to get water in my hair.
Yeah.
So wipes, then the micellar water, because the wipes really don't work as well. I know that. I do know that. And they're not good for the environment. And then I exfoliate. Exfoliate's great if you, like I said, if you've got large pores, even skin tone as well. Because obviously when I break out, I get dark marks. I use a serum at night. So either of those two. I'll show you the baby one because I love the serum. This is just amazing.
Okay.
It's Estée Lauder Advanced Night Repair. It's in ASOS for £10 at the moment, just for the tiny one, because the big one's like £50. But if you want to give it a go, the serum is basically concentrated nutrients, peptides, all sorts of stuff that you put on your face at night, which is supposed to improve the texture and what have you. So I put that on at night. And then I don't wear SPF. I use a hydrating cream at night. Okay. Just because I feel I don't drink enough water. I know I don't drink enough water. And I refuse to get wrinkles because I don't drink enough water. So I will put the liquid into my face by force if I need to. So I think it's, the only other thing I add is I add in vitamin C. And again, that's for the dark spots and the brightening. But and it doesn't get rid of them altogether, but I've accepted it. I've accepted when I break out, I'm going to get a dark spots. They're going to fade over time, and we carry on. So that's what I do. I suppose that I would recommend Paula's Choice, and I recommend Paula's Choice because they do samples. So if you want to try something, it's not the cheapest product, but if you want to try some, I'd say go on there, order some samples, see how you get on, if you like it, if you don't like it. But I would recommend it if you're thinking about your skin and you don't know where to start. That's what I do. And then the only other things I've got are just a few gadgets that I use for my skin as well.
What are the gadgets, please?
So I dermaroll or micro needling. Have you seen one of them before?
Yes,
So when I moved down here, the water's a lot harder.
Yes.
So I had awful skin, truly bad skin. I was going to the beauticians once every 3 weeks to try and sort my skin out. And I saw it on YouTube, and basically you go over your face like 5 times each way, and it's got little tiny holes in it. So it punctures the skin, and the skin reacts by thinking, I need to heal myself, and it sends all that collagen to the skin. Now, like I said, I'm not a beautician, so I'm telling you what I got told, but it really did work. It really did work. So I did that maybe twice a week, and I'd clean it with Surgical Spirit.
So does it like create holes in your skin, but then does it bleed almost, if that makes sense? Would that
No. There's no bleeding. I mean, people do pay to get it done, but it's literally just stings a little bit. You shouldn't be breaking the skin. Just lightly going over. So you feel it, but you're not breaking, so you can still wear stuff on top of it. And then my biggest investment was probably my blue light. So again, I got sucked in by watching a celebrity on Instagram, but I do attest to this. So this is blue light therapy. And basically how it works is it works on the blue light kills bacteria in a certain spectrum. So all you do is you hold it over your face for 5 minutes and it penetrates the skin, and the blue light actually kills the bacteria.
Oh, wow. How much does that set you back then?
I think it was like 200, but I've seen it on sale for about 120. But this is because I was having my skin was awful. But this is really good because I'm a bit of a picker as well. Sorry to be gross.
No, but I think, some of us do it. So I think we get it.
But that's really good. You kind of put it on and it dries out the spots. So it's actually called, again, I'll send you the link, but it's the Tria blue light therapy, but you can pay and go to a beautician. And this is supposed to be a beautician grade.
Oh, that's amazing. I mean, do you know what? My skin has but it's good because my skin, I think, has been up and down. I think as many of us here have, with the weather, with health conditions, and with everything, with stress as well. I think skin just changes over time. But I've learned a lot, and I will implement some stuff. And then also, Christina, when you have the time after we are finished with this, if you can send me a list of the things that you use, and then I'll send it on to the ladies, and that way we can pick and choose which one we would want to use in the future and add on.
Well, I think with the list, can you also add it in the order in which you use it? And like that, a bit more information. There's some of us that don't use any products will just think, what is this, and when am I meant to use it, and all that kind of thing.
No, that's absolutely fine. What I'll do is I'll send you the list, but I'll also kind of tell you why I'm using it. And if it isn't something that you're targeting, there could be a different product that you would prefer. So I've got a few because I'm oily, or I've got dark marks, or what have you. And you're like, I don't want that, but I need something to brighten the skin or resurface the skin or anything like that. Then by all means, you can let me know. But that's what I tend to use.
Definitely.
Did you go through a period of trying different products, and how long would you say you should give a product to go? Like, you know, because if you use it just a couple of days, you might not see the effect, and then you might end up breaking out before it gets better. So how long do you give yourself to try a new product before you decide whether it works for you or not?
I tend to give it has to be a good 6 weeks, I would say. Unless the breakout is awful and I'm like, no, this is really, but you do have to give it a little time. You have to give it a little time and be patient. I don't think many of the products that I've used caused a lot of problems because my skin was already bad when I started using them. My new baby, which I'm now researching, is retinol. So I hear a lot about retinol, and I do like a good walk around Boots and the beauty concessions to hear what they say. I'm not ready for it yet, though. I'm not ready. I don't know enough about it. But I do think you need to let things to go on, to try things and let your skin get into them a little bit.
Yeah. Is that for anti-aging, retinol, or have I got it totally wrong?
Yeah.
Is that the main goal of retinol, right? Okay.
I think it's the collagen production. Apparently, we start to lose collagen in our skin after the age of 25.
Huh? Oh my God.
I don't know how old the rest of you are, but I'm totally
way past it. Way.
I think I'm probably one of the oldest on here. So yes,
You,
way past it.
you, Christina, do you know what? You're probably not. And also you don't look anywhere near your age, which is amazing. So whatever you're using is working, which is a good thing. Yeah. Wow.
Well, it's like, it's black doesn't crack, isn't it? But the problem is that when that was first originated, they probably didn't live the lifestyle we lived, and all the pollution, and ate all the junk food that I have been privy to, and all of those things. So if I need to give it a helping hand, I'll have to give it a helping hand.
Yeah, I agree. I think, I have a few questions in my head where it's just like, whoa, you know. Anyone else has any questions for Christina that she might be able to help us with as she's on now?
I have a question, but I'll just ask and let someone else speak as well. Have you ever had any professional skin consultations, or have you just sort of worked through all of this yourself?
I do have facials. I have facials about once a month. And again, I started that when I was up north because they were a lot cheaper for one. And I was like, I want to have skin like the celebrities. Their skin is beautiful. So that was my goal. I know that a lot of the time they have makeup on. I do know this, but I was like,
and then you found out about airbrushing as well.
You know what I mean? And I was like, but I don't care. I want to have their skin. So I think that started. So I do have regular facials. Well, I did before lockdown, obviously. And then when I'm there, I do pick the brains of whoever's treating my skin as well. And as far as skin consultation, that's probably it. It's when I've gone for facials as opposed to seeing a dermatologist or what have you.
Have you got anything to say about hyperpigmentation at all for our skin?
I think the only thing I would say about hyperpigmentation is potentially look at the products that you're using on your skin. Are they potentially making it worse? Because it's inflammation, isn't it? Hyperpigmentation. So we get the inflammation and then it results in that dark mark. And some products aren't the greatest for our skin. And as far as, just products that don't aggravate the skin, don't make it angry. Also, not touching my face too much to get spots.
Oh, right.
Because I get hyperpigmentation from spots. And then I'm always using things to try and even out. So that's why the exfoliator and the vitamin C I use a lot of, to try and balance that. But that's as much as I really focus on the hyperpigmentation.
Okay.
Really.
And what about, do you agree to say that the more expensive the brand of facial products you're using, the better they are. Because I used in the past a vitamin C serum where I bought it from, I don't know, B&M or Home Bargains, and it was like maybe this much for like £8.99 or something. I felt that it was good for me, but then actually I've stopped using it now because I'm now using vitamin E instead. But then now I think I should go back to vitamin D. So what do you find with the price range of products? Do you think that more expensive is better, or if you find a good brand that is cheaper, it can still work for our skin?
I think it just depends. I think like I also use Simple. I use Superdrug. The Ordinary is a bit more of a specialist product, but that's like £5. I think the hyaluronic acid was £6. So I think it's more understanding what you want it to do and looking at the ingredients. I don't think it necessarily has to be expensive.
Okay.
But I think there's like grades, isn't there? And there's the really premium products. And when I think about the premium products, I think I have to buy it again. So I can treat myself, but I have to buy it again. So no. But then, so it really does depend. It really just depends on the product. I'd say do your research with any of the products. I also am using a lot of, apparently the vitamin C, and I've got an order coming in from Body Shop. It's supposed to be excellent. So that's one that's quite attainable.
And would you use that in the morning or in the evening, the vitamin C one?
I would probably use the vitamin C in the morning, but then I'd have to wear another sunscreen if it didn't have sunscreen in it. Always wear a sunscreen.
Okay. No, I get that. Okay. So I think we have to go back to vitamin D's and C's to just try and get it all in. Because I think
depends what you want to do.
Yeah, do you know, I want to do a lot because I've got dark patches here, which looks like I'm natural contours, but it's not. That's just what my skin is like. And then also my forehead gets quite spotty because I'm quite oily. And then my nose is always shiny because, you know, the oil just sits on there. And I find that as well when we get back to the hair. When I cream my hair, the oil just travels down, if that makes sense. So then it becomes quite heavy and then it just comes down my face. So that's something that I need to work on as well. Do
you know an exfoliant, and you can get one by Garnier, and it's got salicylic acid in it. I used to use that, and that was excellent. Because it's cleaning out your pores as well, and that T-zone. But I'm not an expert. I'm just telling you what I think. Disclaimer. Disclaimer.
Do you know the pores? I find that the pores around here of my face have become much more visible and are much more larger. Is it, I heard that when you have a warm shower, have a cold flannel to close the pores. And if you want to open them up, have like a little sauna or whatever to open them up. But when I open them up and cream myself, is that a good thing? Am I putting too much products on my skin when the pores are open? What do you say about that?
I don't know, to be honest. I think larger pores are going to be a pain if you've got oily skin. They're just our pores. I think we can diminish the size of the pores. I'm not sure we can actually make them smaller. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, people have facial steams, don't they, to open them up, but I don't know. I think as long as the cream that you're using isn't too thick in consistency for your skin type, then it should be okay. But it depends. Are you getting breakouts from doing that?
Not really. I mean, it also actually depends the time of the month, to be fair. You know, where I'm at and what the weather has been like and what my stress level has been like. And that changes a lot on my skin as well. Today, for example, I don't think my skin is the best. And I find out I've got rougher skin around here and around here. So that's something I have to look into as well to try and get better skin around here and my forehead as well. Because my forehead, if you see here, is kind of bright in color here, but then quite dark here.
So, I think an exfoliant would help to even out the texture as well. I think so.
Yeah,
But
I'm gonna get
Garnier
on
do
that.
a good one. I'll have to find it. I'll find the name of it for you.
Yes, please, and then I'll get that sorted because I don't know what summer 2020 is going to look like, but it looks like we're going to be indoors. So I might as well work on my skin.
Come out sometime in September, like, ta-da!
Yes, be like, oh, here I am. Look at my skin.
And then do what I do and put makeup on, so it's fine.
Anyone has any more questions for her, or like just facts and whatever about yourself to throw out in the room for us to just see what you find has helped you in the past, maybe African remedies, for example, and things like that, because I know that shea butter is quite good for some, and that Clever, go on.
Yeah, I just want to, because you mentioned the point about chemical exfoliants, and that's really interesting. I'd never heard of those, so I'm definitely going to look into that, because I use like a homemade, what did you call the other one? Mechanical exfoliant.
Yeah,
effectively.
So like a scrub.
Yeah, basically. So I basically mix coconut oil with bicarb. I just found the recipe on the internet, and I have to say I do swear by it. It can be a bit rough, so it's not something you want to use every single day, but probably I use it most days in the week. And I find that when I'm about to break out in a spot, I just exfoliate that area, and it effectively kills the spot. It's as if it just goes back into its shell.
Oh, right.
It doesn't come out. That's worked. That's worked for me anyway, and I find that like I use it in the morning and in the night if I can be bothered to to wash my face, and that's worked really well for me. So
what's it called? Sorry, so it's
just
bicarb.
Coconut oil mixed with bicarb. I don't exactly know the portions because I'm not very good at measuring stuff. I just kind of mix till I'm happy with the texture.
Oh, brilliant! I'll try that.
I think I'm going to try that myself.
Yeah. And then next time we meet up, we'll all come together and then have that on our face. Yeah.
We should do like a before and after.
And after. That's true. Yeah.
So Claire, how do you put it on? Do you wash your face then put it on, or you use that to kind of wash your face?
No, I wash my face first. So yeah, I can just sort of quickly run through my routine. So the products that I've been using for many years now is actually Mary Kay. And when I was introduced to it, I basically had no facial routine. I think it was about 10 years ago. I used to use my normal towel to wipe my face, and the lady who sold the Mary Kay product is like, how can you use your towel to wipe your face? It's like using the bath mat to wipe your face. And I thought, that's a point. I mean, I normally wipe my feet before I get out, so I didn't really agree with that. But from that point on, I was like, okay, I need some kind of flannel or face towel. But then effectively, I use the Mary Kay product. So they have the cleanser, and they have it for dry skin or oily skin. And my skin tends to be dry, so I get it for the dry skin, so it puts back some moisture. So I use the cleanser, and then when I want, I use the exfoliator as well that I just talked about. And then I use they used to have a day cream, which has the SPF in it. But now they've just combined it. So it's like the day cream and the moisturizer in one. So then I use that in the morning. And then in the evening, they have a similar thing where it was a night cream with the moisturizer, but now it's just a night cream, which I guess has the serum or some kind of serum ingredients. I'm not very good with ingredients, to be honest. I found that the Mary Kay products worked for me, and I just kind of stuck with it. So I haven't done a lot of research like you have. I just kind of found one thing that worked for me and stuck with it. But I mean, this is really useful, all these things, how you've broken it down. I'm definitely going to look into it. I follow this lady on Instagram. She's called, I can't remember the name of her clinic, but Dr. Ejikeme. She runs like a skin, hair, basically kind of some kind of cosmetic clinic. And she posts a lot of information on her page as well. So I've heard a few of these before, like the I cannot pronounce it.
I can't pronounce it.
Hyaluronic acid and the BHAs and the AHAs. So I've heard about it, but to be honest, it's nice to hear someone who's actually used it and tried it and talked about the experience. So it's kind of made me want to try it now. So thank you. Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you so much, Christina. Please don't go, stay with us, because what we're going to do now, we're going to hop onto our hair. We've got Jo Minta with us today, and I hope that she's ready with to talk to us about hair. I got to know her in 2013/2014 through a friend of mine, and I was really worried about my daughter's hair growth at the time. She wasn't just yet one, but her hair wasn't really growing. And I was worried because she was born premature as well. So I thought it had something to do with that because she didn't quite finish cooking in my belly. But so then she introduced me to her. And then we talked about, she just talked me through what the hair process is like. And yes, hello, Joe, can you hear me?
Yes, hi, I can.
Good, perfect. Would you be able to join us today on video at all? Is that
okay? Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Just my kids keep popping in.
Oh no, yeah, no.
Out.
Just a disclaimer: our kids keep popping in and out as well. So
okay,
we just that's completely fine. So don't worry about that at all.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, hello.
Hi, thank you so much for joining us. You are an expert at the moment with us for hair care. You've got obviously your products out for kids, children products, which I will be sharing with the rest of the ladies on here today. I sent you earlier.
Actually, it's not for only kids. It's for kids and adults. It's just that my daughter is on there. That's why she wants to be on there.
Oh, perfect. So then, Oh, great. So it's for adults as well. Well, my kids will be sharing then.
It saves the money.
Definitely. Yeah. Oh yeah. So Joe, I sent you questions earlier. However, I want us to tell us about yourself, then how you got into that particularly when it comes to hair, and then also the common things that happen to our hair. And I can say that majority of us here are all Black females. So we want to know about our own follicles and how they work and how we can promote growth, thickness, and the things we should never ever do to our hair.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. So my name is Jocelyn Minta. It's just that everyone calls me Joe, so I've just kept the Joe. And I run a health clinic, and through that I do the hair stuff. So the products you saw is Shea Beautimia, which is a manufacturing company which produces the products. And the Natural Cambio is the one that I do consultations with ladies regarding their health, their skin and hair. So I got into this when I was in Ghana. I was in Legon, and my desire for hair was too great. So I had to defer my course to go and do cosmetology. And it was through a book that my mom had in her library. And I read that book. I was like, oh no, I need to set up a salon one day. So that's where it started from. So I did cosmetology in Ghana, came to the UK. And in 2010, I remember my husband saying, you have something in you. Why don't you set up your own company? Because I had given birth to my second born and I wasn't going back to work because I was working in central London, and the commute from Kent was like, it was like, why don't you stay home and take care of the kids and look into it? So that's when, I mean, I picked up that desire that I had, and I mean, did some courses after that. And I mean, Shea Beautimia was born. So Shea Beautimia is what started everything. And then branched into nutrition, herbalism, and that's it.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah. So when the topic is how to gain length and thickness, and what the products and oils that really work for the hair. So to retain length, you have to grow the hair. So you need the hair to grow, then you think about retaining it. So I would like to delve into how you can grow the hair, then retain it. So that's the process. And I've put something down. So if I look here, it means I'm looking into my
Sure,
notes.
that's fine. Yeah, no problem.
Okay, but you can ask questions along, or these are the only questions that you could you sent.
No, these are the ones that I sent. No, but I believe all the ladies will ask questions because some of us here have some questions.
Okay. So there are 5 steps. This is basic. There are 5 steps to grow your hair. So you take detangling. Are we all natural though, or some are relaxed?
I haven't relaxed my hair in 5-6 years.
Okay, so we are all natural.
Yeah, we could say
Okay.
that. And some of us have sister locks as well. So
okay,
yeah.
okay. So with that, it wouldn't, some wouldn't, I mean,
apply
fit into it, but then it's okay. So with natural hair, basically, when you want to grow your hair, you start with detangling. The way you detangle, do you detangle with brushes, with combs, or with your hands? If you want to retain the length that you grow, you need to start detangling more with your fingers than with combs and brushes. Because, I mean, there are many out there, but then the more you use them, if you can even analyze yourself, the more you use your hands and the more you use your combs and brushes, which I have tried before, you get more hair coming out with the combs and brushes than with your fingers. So once a while is fine. I mean, I'm not saying we don't have to use it at all, but once a while, using your brush or comb is fine. And right at the moment, I cut my hair last year and I'm growing it again because I grew it continuously for 7 years and I was tired. So, and I homeschool my kids. I've homeschooled them for about 4 years now. So,
wow.
I mean, it's a big job for me. Yeah. So I cut my hair last year and they said, no, you look like a man. Grow it again. So I started growing it again last year. Okay. So what I'm saying right now, I checked it during the 7 years of growing hair, and I realized anytime I use combs or brushes, more hair comes out than when I use my hands or my fingers.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing we need to consider. And shampooing and cleansing. There are so many types of shampoos, there are so many labels, cleansers, shampoos. They are the same. Okay. But there are types that really take everything off your hair. It's like, and they are the chelating shampoos. They will take all the oil from the hair, all the dirt from the hair. But Black women or Black people, we do not need harsh shampoos on our hair because our hair isn't straight. And with Caucasians, they're different because their hair is straight. So they have the sebum, which is the natural oil on the scalp, coming straight to the tips of their hair. Wow, so they have more oil in their hair than we Black people, because ours is curly and the hair, the sebum doesn't climb along the curl pattern. So the more your hair is curly, the less oil you have. It's like the more dry your hair, especially with the 4C type of hair and 4B, most are very dry. There are, I mean, the mixed race, they are curly, but then it's not as curly as ours. So theirs is a bit different too. So with the shampoos, what we have to go in for is sulfate-free shampoos because they do, I mean, they clean. You don't need a squeaky clean hair. Yeah. All you need is a clean scalp for the follicles to work and for the hair to grow out. Because if the follicles are healthy, and also I need to put in this, if the shampoo contains things or ingredients that feed the scalp, or your follicles, because the follicle is where the hair growth takes place. Okay. And there are stages, because when the hair grows to a point, it rests. Then it grows to a point, then rests, sheds, grows, rests. So those are the phases that it goes through. But we can help the stages of rest to be shorter than longer. And especially when we are growing, we enter into the resting stage more, because most minerals and vitamins, most minerals and vitamins are depleting from our body. So we need to put in, extra things and extra things that we do to the scalp for the hair to grow, continue to grow. So yeah, avoiding sulfate shampoos, it's one of the things that can help our hair to, get the things that you need. And the shampoo needs to contain good ingredients. Not when you pick a shampoo and it starts with water. It has to start with water, every ingredient for the hair. When it starts with water and it starts with other synthetic things, like the PEGs, the sulfates, and the sodium lauryl sulfates and all that, then you know what is coming isn't really it's not much, because the more, when you check the ingredients, the things below are in very minute quantities. Yeah. So you wouldn't get anything from such shampoos, but you need your herbs in there. You need your, I mean, all the good things that will help your hair and your health as well, because we don't want anything going into the body, just roaming about as a free radical. So that's one point too.
So would you say that we should avoid shampoos if we could and just use conditioner?
No.
Okay.
You need shampoos, and more shampoos on the scalp, because when I'm washing my hair, I don't put shampoo in my hair, then some gets to the scalp. No, I put it on my palm, and massage the scalp with it. Then when you're washing it out, definitely it will come through your hair. So I'm not so worried about my hair when I'm shampooing. I'm worried about my scalp more. Yeah, because we get all the elements in there. I mean, the air pollution and all the products that we use day by day, we need to shampoo the hair. But it's just that we don't have to go for the harsh ones. That would dry out the hair and the scalp. And also conditioning. Conditioning is also very, very important, because and there are many types of conditioners. We have the normal conditioners, which how should I put, instant, because there are some purposely for, say, wash and go. Some will say, oh, this conditioner is for wash and go, meaning you don't have too many good ingredients in there. It's just for a wash and go. It's just simple. And there are some that are thick enough to feed your scalp, your pores and all that. So the follicles. So it depends on your need, but you need to condition your hair. Because the more you condition your hair, the more you are feeding it, you're moisturizing it. Because remember, natural hair can be very dry. And when you're washing your hair and it's so dry, that is trouble. You need to always start with rinsing to make it softer, because our hair responds best when we put it in water. At first, our parents would say, don't put water in your hair. It's because it will shrink. But now we've seen that water is very, very important for our hair, because it helps to moisturize the hair. So conditioning, I mean, it's good to condition the hair. And also there is a balance. When you condition the hair with moisturizing conditioner every time, you need to, at least once in 6 weeks, you need to apply a protein treatment, because the hair is keratin. It's made of protein. So it needs that protein to feed it. But at the same time, too much protein can break the hair. So that's so many. So I stopped production for about 3 years, and I was trying other products, because before me manufacturing my own, I used to buy it from the US. Very good products like Aubrey Organics, Kinky Curly. I mean,
I heard of those products just today, actually.
Oh, just today.
Okay.
Only, they were pretty expensive, but then I used to buy them because I knew they were good for me. So when I stopped production, I used Shea Moisture, because my sister was like, oh, have you tried Shea Moisture? I was like, okay, let me just go and buy this Shea Moisture and see what's in there. When I buy anything, I check ingredients. That's me. So I checked I was like, okay, so did you really check the ingredients? She was like, oh no, you've stopped production. Don't come and ask me questions. And I used it, and I was like, oh really? Because there's I mean, protein in every product of the brand I bought, the range I bought. I was like, seriously? Because the more protein you use, protein is what makes the hair. Oh, this product makes my hair soft. Yes, so that's the trick in it. So the protein makes the hair soft at a point, but it dries out, I mean, as you use it. Not all protein, there are types of proteins that will help to soften it, but it wouldn't really break the hair.
Mm-hmm.
But there are very harsh ones like the silk proteins. You can't, I mean, you shouldn't use silk protein in leave-in conditioner.
Okay.
That is disaster for later on. It wouldn't happen now, but then later on, as you use it, continue using it, the hair becomes dry. Even when you use it, you feel like, no, your hair needs moisture, because you need to balance the protein and the moisture in the hair. And the hair needs moisture, more moisture than protein.
Okay.
So protein is just about, say, once a week, or once every 6 weeks, you have a regimen, and I mean, apply your protein treatments, which is more of the DIYs that I see, because when you continue using more DIYs too, it's protein. So avocado and egg is protein.
Yeah, I saw that. Joe, I think Chris has a question for you.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Hi, I'm just asking about the protein, because under my wig, my hair is natural. I've never done a protein anything before.
Okay.
So is there a brand you can recommend? I think, did you say you had a protein? Because I don't know anything about what I should be doing with the protein.
Yeah, the protein. At the moment, what I do is I'm more geared into herbs, and my protein treatment. I used to have it. The year that I contacted Vesta, I had about 40 products out there, but I had to shelve most of it because it was work for me. So at the moment, what I do is I use my own protein treatment at home. So I make a tub and use it.
What do you put in it?
Do you get it?
Yeah, so we can do.
What do I put in it?
Yeah.
Oh, I put herbs. You can try this basic one. Not everyone's hair will agree.
Okay.
But if you say mashed avocado with eggs, raw eggs, it's good because avocado is full of protein. Yeah, so I mean that's the basic one. But my hair generally doesn't do well with DIYs. I don't know why. Because when I use them, it becomes so dry and brittle. So yeah. And I haven't bought any protein treatment conditioner. And I know Kinky Kelly doesn't have a protein treatment conditioner. No.
But if we was to Google it or something, we'll be able to find something that
I can try and search. Mine is not out now. I can try and search, and normally I'll go through the ingredients and see if it's good. Then I'll send it to you. And
yes, and then I'll pass it on. Definitely.
Yeah.
I will do, yeah.
Thank you.
That'd be great.
That's all right. Okay, so yeah, we're talking about conditioning. So conditioning, balance the moisturizing and the protein treatment, and you'll be fine. And also, there's no relaxed hair. Okay, because if someone is relaxed, they can do the hard protein, because I mean with relaxed hair you've broken the disulfide bonds, the protein bonds.
Yeah, I think we've got one relaxed hair in there.
Okay.
So if
Oh yeah, so they can do the strong protein, but you need to use moisturizing conditioners more, as well. And moisturizing, so the first step was detangling, conditioning, moisturizing the hair. Moisturizing is very, very important. So every day we need to at least moisturize in some way. If you're not putting in a leave-in conditioner, then you can spritz your hair with water.
Okay.
Your hair will just thank you for that. Because the thing is, everything that we eat every day, for the hair to grow, the food and the nutrients will go to all the organs in the hair, in your body. Every organ, every tissue, every cell first. The last things it goes to is the hair and the nails. So the hair and the nails aren't so important to the nutrients or your system, your body. And that's how it's been made. So your nails and your hair. So if you see your nails growing very well and your hair growing very well, it means whatever thing you're taking in, your body is absorbing it very well.
Okay.
That's the trick.
I've got a question on that, because for myself personally, my nails grow amazingly well, but my hair doesn't. So does it mean all the nutrients that come in, it just goes straight to my nails and nothing goes to my hair? Because
it means maybe your hair is growing, but you're not maintaining it well to retain the length. Because the hair grows, all the hair, I mean, everyone's hair grows. The Asians are the ones that have, I mean, the longest of hair. Their hair grows very fast. Then we come to Caucasians. Then we come to the ones with the curly hair. Our hair can grow as well. And I mean, I tried it for 7 years. My hair grew very long. It worked. So it can work if we maintain it well, because of the texture of our hair and the way our hair is. It's dry. It's dry. So let's say if you want to wash your hair and you wash all together, it wouldn't work. You damage the hair. You need to always section it. Even with this, exactly. So even with this short hair that I have now, I section it. I need to section it. Yeah. So it always has to be in sections.
Yeah, I've got, sorry to break you off. I've got another question here from iPhone, and she said that how often do you have to wash your hair? Whilst on the
Once
hair
a
washing?
Week. It's fine. I tried it for 7 years straight, and it was good for me.
Okay.
Once a week, because the more you wash your hair, and remember, if you have those amazing products, not too many. I'm not the type that use so many products. No. All I use is my set and the protein treatment I was talking about that I have. That will be coming out very soon. So myself and my daughter, because if you see my daughter's hair now, from when 6 months,
I saw it on Instagram. I saw on Instagram the hair, and it's oh my god,
exactly. And I don't have that gene. I would say my mom's grandmother had hair. They said, oh, she had hair, but then it's not genetic.
I thought it was.
So it can. There's a factor. I'll come to that.
Okay.
With your question. Sorry.
So when you wash your hair every week, do you undo your? I don't know if you've got twists now, but do you undo it, wash it, and then do it every week, or do you wash it?
Yes, that's what I do now. No, I was saying for the 7 years I did my hair. I washed my hair every week. It was that OCD every week. Yeah, I did it. And
so what I mean is you undo whatever hairstyle you have.
So now I do it every 2 weeks. Yes, I do it. Okay. I wash it. Yeah. So I take it off. See, I've even started taking one off because my wash day is this weekend. So yeah. It's.
Can I ask a question about shrinkage? So because I didn't used to wash my hair. I'm spoiled. I go to the hairdressers, but in these days of lockdown, I'm having to do my own hair. So that shrinkage is real. Is it a sign that my hair is unhealthy? Is it a sign that my hair is unhealthy? The fact it shrinks so much.
It shrinks because your hair is very curly.
So it's just my hair.
It's normal. Yeah. Okay. And that's black hair for you.
Okay,
we put water in it and it just goes down.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's normal. It's normal. Yeah, that's all right. Yeah. So can I go on?
Oh yeah, go on.
Yeah. So moisturizing with a good leave-in conditioner is good. Not the ones. Try and read ingredients, because the ones that have silk protein. Silk protein is very, very strong. It's a strong protein, so you can't be putting silk protein in your hair every day, or say if you moisturize your hair 3 or 4 times a week, you can't put that in your hair every time, because you'll feel that softness, but it would damage your hair in a way in the long run. So just avoid leave-in conditioners with silk proteins or even proteins, because why would someone put protein in a leave-in conditioner? Leave-in conditioner is to moisturize your hair. if the protein is in the moisturizing conditioner or the conditioner, that's fine, but not in the leave-in conditioner. You need that moisture, not the protein. Yeah. And also, yeah, so moisturize with leave-in conditioner and water. Yeah, water. So every day I spritz my hair with water, and I'm done. And so about 3 or 4 days in a week, I use the leave-in conditioner to really moisturize it and scuff it. So it retains, at least it keeps in the moisture a bit. Because our hair is dry, when you leave it like that without putting on anything, then it'll feel dry again. Yeah. So at least when you scuff it, it will retain that moisture a bit for some minutes and you'll be fine. And the more you moisturize your hair, you would feel that your hair is beginning to become soft. Yeah, not that the texture is changing, but it means your hair is retaining the moisture. Because some people have very porous hair, and those ones are the ones that when they put anything in their hair, because there are gaps in the shaft or the cuticles, it just goes away. Yeah, so that will also depend on how you finish your hair. When you finish washing your hair, there should be a cold substance or cold something to close the cuticles. Okay. So whether cold water, even mint is nice and it helps. So mint leaves, you buy it from Tesco or something, and just put it in hot water. By the time you finish your hair, not too much hot water, but so that it would cool down. What sometimes I do is just put it in cold water. So by the time I finish my hair, it's cool enough, and I'll just pour it over my hair. Okay. Just to seal in the moisture. And the mint, it's peppermint, which will also, it will invigorate some growth as well. Yeah. Okay. And also, we need to protect our hair, because if the hair is growing every month, we shed hair every day, about 80 to 100 a day. So that's normal. And that's where the locks come in. The locks, when you have locks, you don't shed your hair. So someone will say, oh, if you do locks, it'll grow, your hair will grow faster. No, the hair grows the way it grows every time. It's just that when you've locked your hair, all the shedding, all the hair that's coming off is not coming off. It's part of the hair. That's how come it grows. So, that's where the locks also come in. So, it's a choice. I wanted to do locks, and I was like, okay, can I reverse it? But I love it. It's nice. It's a nice thing to. But I was thinking maybe I'll be bored. It's a personal choice. I'll be bored with my hair. Okay, so oil massage is also very important. So protecting the hair is, let me talk about that again. Protecting the hair is very, very important to retain the length. That's the topic. This is where the topic comes in. The topic comes in. So when you protect your hair, most of us are culprits of, we braid the hair and leave it for God knows how many weeks. Then leave it. It's like we do nothing to the hair. And when I cut my hair, I'm a culprit. After 7 years of growing my hair without any braid, I never braided my hair. I didn't put in any braid. It was just twist, and my hair grew very long. But I cut my hair, and my kids were like, oh, grow your hair. So I started doing the yarn thing. I was braiding myself, and I'll leave it because I have so many things to do. I have 2 companies to take care of. I have homeschooling to do. I have my own studies to do. So I was like, oh, I'll braid and just leave it. And at the end of the month, when I went to take out my hair was just coming out. It was shedding. The leave-in conditioner, apply it to the hair. If you have a very good oil, massage it in the scalp.
What kind of oil would you recommend to have that we could use on a daily basis?
The basic oil you can use for your hair that wouldn't affect anyone is almond. That really goes, it goes well with almost everyone.
Good.
Some of the oils, I mean, some people are allergic to it and all that, but almond, I mean, is the basic.
Good. Okay.
And it's good, and it's lubricating. So I mean, it's a bit it's a lubricant, kind of a slippery kind of. Yeah, so I mean, it's not bad. Almond isn't bad. Yeah,
and we can get that from Tesco or any other supermarkets.
No, I wouldn't recommend Tesco. Okay. I would recommend you go to Amazon and check for almond oil or organic.
Okay.
Almond oil, or cold pressed. You can do cold pressed, because the Tesco ones, they are not cold pressed normally. Yeah, so Amazon is the good place. Is a good place to go.
Okay.
Yeah. So oil massage. If you have your oil, just massage it into the scalp, and you feel the heat that's coming out, and you know at least you are doing something. You are what's the word? Stimulating the growth, the circulation. Yeah. So we are done. I think that's the basics of growing hair.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
2 questions. One, is dyeing your hair damaging to your hair? Because the greys need to be covered. And the other question is, how can I grow my edges? Because my edges are really weak. So anything that you've got for that?
Okay, so the first one, dyes. The normal dyes contain ammonium, which is a bit of a harsh ingredient to put in your hair. So, I mean, and health-wise as well. So I always recommend henna to people who come to me for hair problems and they want to dye their hair. I want to change my color. Then I go like, you can use henna and dye the hair.
I just want to add to the henna point. I actually used henna myself for a couple of years, not to color my hair, but another lady who's grown her hair really, really long, she said it helps to loosen her curls. I don't know if it actually did, but then gradually it was around the time when I was learning how to manage my hair. And the thing about sectioning to wash is another tip that I got from hair. So I do tend to part my hair and sort of braid into sections to wash it. And it's really great. It helps with shrinkage as well, because I wash it and condition it in that way. And mainly focus on the scalp, like you were saying.
Yeah.
What happens is I then manage it in those sections, and it really helps with like I've really from 4 years ago when my hair was like really, really kinky and really, really strong, and now when I've literally not had braids since lockdown, and it's much easier to manage. So henna does dye the grays as well. I stopped doing it just because it was too much hassle, but it does
it's a hassle. Sectioning is very good, because the day you decide to wash your hair, I mean, section it in terms of detangling, doing everything to the end. And it helps with the breakage, because our hair is so curly that it goes like that. It just tangles. It tangles with each other. So when you section it, it will help to keep all the sections. And with my daughter, when I'm doing her hair, that's what I do. Section. When she goes into the shower, it's section. So every section, then I take it, loosen it, and then detangle it again with my fingers. So sectioning is very good. And your second question,
edges.
About my edges.
Oh, your edges. Okay, so with your edges, I would say you need a more stimulating oil. Only almond can't work, and especially if you are doing any protective styles that will put tension on your edges, then you'd have to, try and reduce it or even stop it for some time. And the amount of time you can try and see if your hair is really growing or what's happening to the hair is about 3 months. When say you're trying a product, you have to try it for about 3 months and see how it would work. Because the more the wigs, the more tension you are putting on that part of the hair. So if it's a good wig, which contains, I've seen some on Instagram, which has a net. If that's not putting tension on your hair, I think that's the best choice to go in for. Because I know you can also grow your hair with wigs, but you need the right wigs to grow your edges. And
which oil did you say? So not almond oil, you said
almond oil. Yeah, almond oil alone can't really do the job, because there's what we call one thing can't do everything. So sometimes, I mean, in life you have to combine. Even our body, we can't take one pill and say it's going to help the digestive system, it's going to help the endocrine system, it's going to help this. No, it's some things coming together to help. So aside your physical, the physical things you do to the hair, as in putting tension on your hair, when you're braiding your hair, you can ask the person braiding not to put tension on the hair, because it can go and it'll get to a point where you've gotten into that resting stage and it'll be hard to grow. So
aside the almond oil, is there any particular oil that you think might work for the edges, where you just massage it in? Or
what I use is mine.
Okay, yours.
It's my product.
So go and buy her.
It's my goat oil. You can try it. You can try it.
Send me a link if it goes.
I'll send you a link. It's available on Amazon. So
you can try it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'll send you.
Yeah, because only almond oil can do it. Because with mine, what I do is I put in over almost 50 herbs, and some are Western herbs, some are Ayurvedic herbs. I love Ayurvedic herbs because they help to grow the hair. And I mean, that's what the Indians have been using all these years. So yeah,
But then also, obviously, with this lockdown at the moment, I've been doing my own hair. So it's not so much tension on here and all that, and it's gappy. But then to know that if I spritz my hair every single day, it actually helps the growth of my hair. I don't know. Did anyone else knew that? I don't know.
Especially with extensions, you just think, plait your hair and just leave it.
Yeah.
You might, if it's itchy, you grease it. If it's like, put a little bit of oil underneath.
Yeah.
But in terms of spritzing it, I guess the issue with spritzing is because our hair, especially if it's spritz, it goes more into like, it shrinks and becomes more afro-y. So you just feel like, I've always felt, I know about spritzing when I have my own hair out. And I do a lot of that water. I just have my bottle of water and I spritz it. I don't do a lot to my hair when it's out. I just leave it, and then when in the morning, I don't even twist it. In the morning, I just put water in it to soften it, and I style it and I go with it. That's what I do. But when I have braids, I just feel like spritzing it is just going to make it a bit more rough.
Yeah.
So I've never really thought about spritzing it. But she did say leave-in conditioner, which I will try. I will try that.
For what do you call it? For Chris, I think you were asking for your edges. I find castor oil to be very good. Castor oil and castor oil is excellent, and also pure virgin coconut oil. If you can, pure one is good, but castor oil is amazing.
Yeah,
and you see the results. And like it's what you eat as well, and drink plenty water. There's a bit I don't do. See, that's the problem. Drink plenty water, but castor oil is excellent. It's really, really good. Black castor oil is excellent. It's excellent.
Is there any particular brand?
Well, they say Jamaican castor oil, but I think it's just castor oil.
It's huge.
Yeah, because my daughter's hair, I mean, castor oil didn't work for her scalp. Her scalp just went really dry. So I stopped.
Well, that's what I wanted. Oh, sorry. Please go on.
So with my daughter, I didn't use the castor oil. I tried it, and then her scalp went really, really dry, and I stopped it. But I think with my daughter, one time, she's only just turned 4. One time I done plaits for her. And I was so excited. And with her hair, I used to do it every week. I added extension and twisted it. and I tied it back. It looks lovely. And I think I done it the second week, but I went away for a weekend. So that means the following weekend I didn't do it. And she lost her front. She lost her front, like the side bit, literally, because her hair is quite soft. And her hair, even when you just hold it, even just with elastic band, but not hard, just twice, it looks like it's pulling the hair. That's how soft their hair is. And then the only way it grew back is I literally just stopped holding it, and it just grew back.
Okay.
So, I mean, it might also be the tension
I get it.
that you were talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And with castor oil, what it does is, castor oil is such that it takes whatever thing. It's like bentonite clay. So wherever it takes the dirt or whatever it finds to itself. So it ends up making your scalp dry. So if you want to use castor oil, it's very, very viscous. It's very thick. So before washing, you can use castor oil and then wash your hair. And that will even help to make the hair, soft and all that. But say in the week, if you apply castor oil to your hair, and then the next day you apply castor oil, the next day you feel your scalp is dry and your hair is dry, it's because that's how it works. So it works best when, say, you apply it, massage it into your scalp, put on plastic cap and leave it on for about, a good 30-45 minutes will help to, if you have a dryer or a steamer, steamers are very good. So if you have a dryer, then you can just blow it. So it helps with the steam, because the steam will open the pores of the scalp and absorb whatever thing you put on the scalp.
That's really interesting. You say that. My sister was telling me about that exactly yesterday, and apparently is that what is called greenhousing, where effectively she said she's been doing that for years with coconut oil. She does exactly like she was telling me that I should really try it. So
it's very
two people in 2 days.
Yeah, it helps. It helps hair growth. Yeah.
Oh, Priscilla, you had. Sorry, Priscilla, I think had a question before you went off. Priscilla, you still have the question, or it's been cleared up?
No, my question was, I've always had itchy scalp. I've always had it, and I just assumed that it was worse when I plaited my hair. But then since we've been on lockdown, I've had my own hair out. And I remember I even put it on my status one day, and then Antoinette was like, try tea tree and something. So it's just been really, really itchy. So the more it was itching, the more I thought maybe my hair is either dry or is dirty. So then I was washing my hair, like sometimes I would have just washed it the day before. And then the following day is fine for that day while it's moist and everything. Then it starts itching. I grease it with oil, and I still find that it will be okay for maybe 2 hours. And by evening time, it starts itching again. So I feel like, I don't know if I've got a problem with my scalp, because it's not dry. I'm greasing it. It's also quite moist, because I tend to put a lot of what I do is just water and spritz it in my hair. But so I just don't know what could be causing it. Yeah. And I've kind of lived it forever. If you ask V, she's always telling me scratch your hair, and then I'm so used to tapping it.
She's just there like this.
Tapping. And I'm like, I thought it was just with extensions, but I realized that when I have my own hair out, it's still the same issue.
Okay. When you have your hair, is it better?
Sorry?
When you have your hair out, is it better than when there's extension?
You know what? I thought it was, but since I've been on lockdown, I only just did my hair last week. But I was on lockdown before the lockdown happened, and it was my own hair out. I've not had anything in my hair since, I think I took my hair out in February, and I hadn't had anything, and it just got really itchy. So that's when I kind of realized that it's not just when I have extensions. It's also when I have my own hair out.
Priscilla, you said you're greasing your scalp, right?
Yeah.
I think you're blocking your pores with the grease, because
with the grease, all I'm using is oil.
Its own oil, isn't it? The scalp produces its own oil.
Well, the thing is, when I grease, it stops it for a bit. When I don't grease, it still itches.
Okay.
I tried, sorry, I did, someone said tea tree. So I did try the tea tree for oil, just the oil. And I don't use cream. I don't use any products. So when I'm greasing, it's either going to be coconut oil, any oil I've got in the house. I've got
I said the tea tree. I said dilute it with ACV and rinse it. I didn't say put it directly
I tried
into
that.
your scalp.
No. You said the rinse. I tried the rinse. It kind of, while it was going through my hair, it felt good. By the evening, it was itching again. And somebody else said put some drops and then use it to grease. So after I tried
tea tree is too strong. You need to dilute it.
I diluted it with another oil to basically pull in my scalp. But I've tried both your one and what's the other person who said with tea tree, and it's still itchy. So I'm giving up on the itchy scalp.
No, don't give up. You know, I had a lady come to me recently, and hers was so serious because with hers she couldn't even sleep. She wakes up to just itch. So I would like to know, do you feel there's build-up? Is there any build-up? Because sometimes dermatitis can cause that.
When you say build-up, I don't even know. I'm washing my hair because even before I put it in the braids, I thought, okay, maybe I'm washing it too much because I was washing it as sometimes once a week.
Yeah. So what are you using to wash your hair?
I still washed it again because it was still itchy. So I don't know. At one point, I thought maybe I'm overwashing. So I'm like thinking all things.
Or maybe, Priscilla, you're putting a lot of things in your hair.
Sometimes.
I don't. I would love to say I'm putting a lot of things, but I know I just don't.
What about shea butter? Have you tried shea butter?
No.
You know, shea butter
is too. No, it's too.
You will block the pores.
The scalp.
Shea butter is what I put in the actual hair, not on my scalp.
Yes, it wouldn't block the pores. The only things that can block the pores are, say, beeswax and the waxes.
Okay. The beeswax is very heavy though. I was using beeswax at one time to lock my hair, and that leaves a lot of build-up because of the thickness of it. So beeswax, that really leaves a lot of build-up in your hair.
To be honest, I was actually thinking about going to see a dermatologist.
Yes,
so to that point.
Because the thing is, with the itching, it's either dandruff, it's either seborrheic dermatitis.
What is that? That sounds very, that sounds
that sounds serious.
Yeah.
It's a type of dermatitis. You know, dermatitis is, itching.
Okay.
Yeah, it's itching. When people have eczema and contact eczema, we have the atopic ones and all that. So it's, itching. So it could be fungal. So, with this, you need more of inside, because most of the things that happen on the scalp, the hair and all that, sometimes you need to deal with it from inside. Then so if you're using everything, then coconut oil is dry. It's a very good oil. I love it. I use it to cook. That's what we eat at home. We don't eat any other oil. It's the only oil. I love it. I use it for my skin even a night routine. I use it on my skin and all that. But to apply coconut oil on your scalp and leave it without using it on a wash day, I would say it will make your scalp dry. Because with me, when I'm using coconut oil, I know I'm going to use coconut oil and wash my hair. It's an oil when it's cool, it becomes a bit hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's saturated. So it's an oil that's used as a pre-poo. It's just like the castor oil. Ideally, when you use it as a pre-poo, is best. But to use it during the week, every day, it's a bit drying it's a bit drying. And that's why I said the best oil, I would say, simple. To go simplest of all is almond oil for the scalp. But the way you are itching, because the lady that came to me, what I did was, okay, I set up a protocol for her that she would follow, and that's health-wise. But you know, when she got the product and she used it, she called me and said, the itching, everything is gone. I was like, really? So what do we do? She said, okay, let's continue the protocol. So sometimes it's the product you are using as well. What's in that product that's causing that itch?
Yeah.
That's giving you the itch, which can, I mean, transcend into dermatitis, because the more you itch, the more we scratch our scalp, the tendency we can use our nails to even, I mean,
well, she pats a lot. She does this a lot.
I don't scratch.
She doesn't scratch at all. She always does this.
I think that comes from years of breaks.
To just do that, it's better than with a nail, because you can pluck out a follicle that won't grow again.
Oh God.
That's how it is. That's how the hair is. So
patting is good, huh?
Sorry.
So patting is good.
Oh, patting, yeah, it's not bad. It's like, I mean,
you need to tell V. She's always telling me, stop patting your hair, just scratch it.
But I think check what you are using, check the ingredients.
Okay, I'll go through that.
For you know, you are reacting to an ingredient in a product.
Right.
Or you are reacting to an ingredient in a product.
I'm going to check my shampoo and my conditioner. I think after your talk, I thought actually I need to check the ingredients.
Yeah.
That, because I don't tend to.
I mean, shampoos should be so simple that it would even help with the scalp.
Yeah, I'll check. I think my problem is, for example, if I buy a product for my daughter and it doesn't work on her hair, because I use everything. I would be like, anything that I'm not wasting that money. I'll spend the money. So I'll use. That's what I always do. So that could be causing it.
Okay. Yeah.
I've got I think Claire, but did you have another question at all?
Yeah, I did. What is the effect of heat on the hair?
Yes.
By heat, I mean not like straighteners, but blow dry, and especially if you are using the heat protective serums and creams that it comes with. Is it? I mean, I know no one will really advise it, but how bad is it for your hair? Because I do find that it's easier to manage. Even though I know it's bad, I'm just wondering, like, what is the effect on the hair of blow drying?
Using heat, what heat does is when you use the heat on the hair, it's just like the skin. When you apply the heat to steam your face, it opens the pores. So the cuticles, which are lined up like the shingle of the roof, it's lined up. So the moment you apply heat, they open. So when they open and you don't close it, then the hair it can tangle, you can get split ends and all that going on. So if you want to use heat, I would say sparingly. Say once a year on your birthday.
Oh, wow.
Jeez. Just pamper yourself with it, because heat can damage the hair. It can literally damage the hair such that you cut your hair. You would have no option than to cut it. So when you look at that, then do you know curl formers? I advertise for them a lot. I don't get anything from it. You know curl formers?
No.
You don't know curl formers?
No, what's that?
When it's this curly. Oh, I have some here. Use it. These are curl formers.
Oh, those ones. Okay.
Like sponges.
Yeah.
If you want to say, if you want your hair to feel like, oh, I've relaxed it for today and I'm good, you use curl formers and you're okay. Because it will make the hair feel like it's. I think I have some photos on Instagram where I used it, and you see the curl pattern. It's like, it's nice. It's very nice. It helps to stretch the hair, and your hair feels like relaxed it. And normally those times I use it, and for a whole week. Great.
So can you use this on children as well? Like young kids, like let's say 3 going?
I've used it once on my daughter. I think she was 3, 4-ish. Yeah, I think so. But the strain it sometimes gives on the scalp, I would say when they're about now, her hair is so long, I don't want to even try. Otherwise, I'll buy another pack. So I don't want to try here.
Okay.
So at least 6 going, she can withstand that bit of strain on the yeah. Okay. So you can get curl formers and that'll be fine.
Curl formers, okay.
Yeah, it takes a long time for it to dry. Some use dryers, but I never use dryer. So on a day that I'm not going anywhere, I wear it and keep it on for about 6 hours sometimes. Yeah, it depends on you.
So I was really concerned about the amount of shedding that's happening. And I even went out and bought biotin from Holland and Barrett's to try and replace what I thought might be missing, which is biotin. But then I have been using it.
It's missing?
I don't know. I just, you know what? I went into Holland and Barrett's and I said to them, listen, I need something for my hair. My hair needs to grow. And this man now took me round and said, oh, biotin. So I said, okay. And I read a little bit about it, that it's something that we have in our hair and that's what makes the hair grow. So I thought, okay. And then I also had a blood test done and I was very low on vitamin D. So obviously vitamin D is for bones and also for hair. But then how much vitamin D should I take? Because
it's because we don't go out. When the sun is high, from say 11 o'clock to about 2, that's where you have the UVB. So the UVB is the one you get the vitamin D3 from.
Okay.
And when it hits your skin, there's a hormone that's activated, the calcitrol is activated in your body and by your kidneys. And that's what gives you the vitamin D3. So when the sun is shining and you sit in a shade and say you are enjoying the sun, no, you're not, you won't get any vitamin D3.
Yeah.
And us Black people, we need about a good 60 to 90 minutes in the sun to get the vitamin D. So we lack it so much, especially because we are here.
Okay.
Yeah, so vitamin D, you find so many people, I mean, being deficient.
Yeah. That's what I found was my problem. So you would say vitamin D3, that would be good.
It's the best form.
It's the best one. And I can get that over the counter, let's say Boots or...
You can, but I can message you and send you, I mean, the one I buy for my kids.
Okay.
So,
yeah. I will not be sharing that with anyone that wants that information from me.
Most
really don't be selfish.
When we talk amongst each other, we've noticed that as we are growing with the busy lives and all of that, we tend to eat food that are just very convenient, even though we might cook from fresh, but we don't have all the nutrients that we
don't have varied food.
Yeah, we don't have varied food as well. Yeah. Has anyone got any questions at all that we can throw at John?
Questions.
I think
does hard water harm our hair? Should we be using boiled water? Okay. Sorry, before we go on with your questions, so I go through these ones.
Yeah.
So, or you're saying something?
No, I was just saying some of the questions were answered, but then I have a question about the water, because the hard water, obviously we live in London and all that. There's hard water. Should we be having filters on our shower heads? Should we be boiling our water before we use it to wash our hair?
It's filters. So I can send you a link as well, but please remind me.
I will.
All the links so you can share with them.
Yes.
So you need hard water is a problem, and with eczema, skin problems, hair problems, I mean, it causes so much of a problem. But at least having a filter on the shower will help. It will just help at least in your shower to get some soft water on your body.
I've got a shower head that has those pebbles in it.
Yes.
And that one, but it's due to change though. I have to change because I've had it for a bit now.
9 months or 6.
Oh, long time ago. Then
I started with that.
Yeah, then I think that'll be recommended. So I'll put that link on there as well in case you don't want to get your whole house, you know, a whole softening system for your house.
Yeah. Start with that because we started with that.
Oh, brilliant. You know what, ladies? I think this has been an amazing session from the skincare routine and from the hair products that we should be using and all that. Yeah. All right, ladies. Thank you all so much for joining this evening, Sister to Sister. We've come to an amazing end of this. However, I think we'll have another one and talk more about different types of hair and what the grading is of the hairs and what to use for the different hairs. Thank you all so much for your time. Thank you, Christina, for sharing your skincare routine. We're waiting on the link for that. And thank you, Jocelyn, again for joining us as well.
You're welcome.
I really, really appreciate it. I think we've learned a lot today. And I will be sharing her Amazon links for her products and her Instagram as well, and then her website as well that you can contact her.
The extra links that I promised to send you.
Oh yes, those ones. Yeah, those ones I'll only share with people that'll bake me cake. So you can't decide.
That means I'm not getting it.
And family. Thank you.
And family.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right, brilliant. I'm going to end this call here. Thank you all so much, and I'll catch up with you all later. Bye. Good evening.
Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to today's Sister to Sister podcast.